KCC is back. Woo. KCC is back. Woo. Hello and welcome to the Chucast. Welcoming you back to KCC Season 6, week number 4. We started off on a rough foot this season. We're 1-2, which isn't very good considering we have a lot of very powerful opponents left on our schedule. So, the plan is to just simply stop losing. That's going to be a bit tough because our opponent this week is Trey in the Houston Obelisks. And his draft is scary, and speaking of his draft, he has Snake Eye, TG, Dark World, Danger, Phantom Beast, Triple Tactics Talent, Saryuja, Appaloosa, Gen Ken, and Card Destruction. Now this is going to be a rough matchup. Danger Dark World is an exceptionally strong deck in draft. It has very capable tools of breaking boards, and just about infinite link material to do whatever the fuck it wants. So we're gonna have to be careful. Add on to that some really good staples, Saryuja and Appo to make the end board better, Gen Ken to turn on Triple Tactics Talent. It's going to be a rough week. But, like I said, we have a plan. Going first, we have Floodgates like Different Dimension Ground and Deck Lockdown, two staples that should theoretically prevent him from playing the game. We're playing Santa Claus and Lava Golem as end board removal pieces. We've got Dark Ruler No More to turn off the Danger Dark World end board. As for interesting tech cards we have this week, we have Enemy Controller. Enemy Controller is a quick play spell that plays around Appaloosa and the Graphic. They can't negate it, therefore we can use it to, let's say, tribute a monster I control, steal his, like, Appaloosa or something, and sort of break the board that way. Lastly, we have Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. This card's not going to break the board. It's not going to stop him from making the board. It is going to gain us a shit ton of life points so that we have extra turns to break the board. More resources equals an easier time breaking a board, right? Therefore, that's sort of what we're doing this week, and I'm really hoping it works, but I'm not too convinced. We can still drop 1 or 2 matches, but I really don't want this to be one of them. Let's get right into the games. Alright, first up we've got Eldlich into the TG matchup. We're going first, setting 2 and passing. Trey starts with all clear, adding Rocket Salamander, then uses Salesband Calling Imperm, allowing his Rocket Salamander to resolve with no issue, tributing itself for Screw Serpent, which revives the Salamander with its effect. With no meaningful interaction on our end, we allow Trey to Synchro Climb into Blade Blaster, swinging in for a large chunk of damage before passing. An Eldlich off the top allows us to pop the all clear, which for some reason makes Trey activate Mighty Striker for Crimson Dragon. Regardless, we fiend out a Skullmeister when we try to summon our Eldlich from grave, but when Trey normal summons a Salamander next turn, the conk we set off Awakening is enough to make him forfeit. Game 2, Trey is going first and uses the Diabell Star Package to get him to Salamander, summoning Screw Serpent, etc., but seemingly cuts himself off tuner access by making Hyper Librarian, forced to pass with just a wanted poster in the back row. Our turn isn't very exciting, just activating Heavenly Prison, setting 3, normal summoning the dead Skullmeisters to swing in for some damage and pass back. Trey uses Salamander to get materials on board to make big synchros and kill. We're forced to use Overroot and Book of Moon to keep him off tuner access, but he rips a Talons off the top of his deck to draw 2. Unfortunately, he's still able to make Glaive Blaster, but banishes itself for some reason. I think he was trying to banish the Star Guardian to make more room on his board, but we'll take it. He isn't able to kill us, and we are forced to tribute summon Eldlich, but despite how far back we are on a card advantage, Trey just isn't able to close out the game, and somehow the Eldlich traps are just enough to win us this game. Alright, here comes the hard part. Trey still has Dark World and Danger to play, and there's not much we can do to stop him from performing whatever the fuck combo he wants to do. Trey's won the die roll, and I would totally describe a Dark World combo to all of you. No, I wouldn't. The important stuff here is that Trey utilizes his Kenjin to turn on Tactics, then makes Saryuja to shuffle back a certain Lizard Dog in his hand back into his deck. Uses Archives to discard Ceruli, forcing me to activate it, allowing him to discard Lucian, which triggers to summon Ito, the supreme magical force, to my side of the field. Oh god! Then he proceeds to make Appaloosa and the Graph Fusion, which is really gonna make this tough. Luckily, I think we can actually do this. We crash the Ito into Appo to remove it, then Santa Claus the Appo. With the material left on board and 2 Crusadia names in hand, one of which being Draco, we're able to remove the Graph Fusion with Cerberus and do the Crusadia line into Avermax, and with the added benefit of Eldlich traps, we should have this game in the bag, right? I mean, the only way he outs us is if the one talents he has left in deck, and he's probably like Mildred or something, right? He forces out the Vanguard to pop the field spell, and lo and behold, the talents is there, and he steals our fucking Avermax. Yeah, non-targeting stealing, huh? Yeah, that's cool. That was awful. I mean, game 2, we're going first, and this hand looks pretty fucking good. We're able to make Avermax backed up with a bunch of Eldlich stuff once again, and surely he can't find one of his talents in 40 cards, right? Right? He starts with Hatronade, which is so fucking unfortunate, but we still have Avermax, and we have no way of activating monster effects during his turn, right? Right? Unfortunately, I'm just not going to commentate the rest of this, really. The Kenjin forces us to activate a monster effect, and he's found the fucking talents. Awesome. Alright. Match 3, and for some reason, I have a good feeling we can win this. Somehow. It's gonna take a lot of fucking work, but we got this, right? We've won the die roll, and the hand looks alright. We may have opened 0 Day and not opened a single Crusadia monster, but luckily 0 Day isn't a hard garnet. I think we've opened well enough to still be able to make the normal board. Trey's opened no hand traps, so we're able to do this uninterrupted. Because we've opened no Crusadia names, we're forced to utilize a weird cross-shaped line to get enough bodies on board to make Aquamax, which gives us a Crusadia name to link into Magius. This lets us summon a Scareclaw to its zone, and get to our end board of Triheart, Avermax, Twinsaw, and Vanguard. Trey starts with a Santa Claus and utilizes the dangers to break our board. And yeah, that's going to be a swift scoop from us. Yikes. Okay, maybe my faith in myself is a little misplaced. But going into the sideboard, we should definitely have the advantage. We've opened a really good hand for going first, making the normal end board with the addition of different dimension ground. While Trey should be able to relatively break the board normally, DDG just kind of forces him to scoop it up. Okay, game 3 is going to be a tough one. Trey's going first, and I'm not very confident this deck can play through the Danger Dark World end board. Trey starts by activating a Danger, to which we chain Spooky Dogwood. If we can't break the board, let's gain a shit ton of life points and try to either deck him out, or prolong the game long enough to where we can establish fucking something to win. Luckily for us, he only makes the Graph Fusion. And all it took for him to do this was to give me like 9,000 extra life points. Regardless, we have access to all we need to win this game. We just need the face down to be bad. We Rhoda for Reichheart, then Reichphobia for Visas. We summon Astra, linking into Lightheart, then summon a Reichheart from hand, adding Arrival. We link into Dark, reviving his Thunderbird, then link off for Aquamax into Magius. I remember some way we fucked up this combo, but I can't entirely remember how, outside of the fact that I had to do something with the Visas and the fact that, like, Arborea or Reichheart shared a type with it. Regardless, we've put ourselves in a corner and need this Arrival to resolve to win, which, for some goddamn reason, it does, and we're able to swing for lethal? Thank God! You get a billion life points! You get a billion life points! You get a billion life points! Everybody gets a billion fucking life points! I wasn't expecting that, but I guess it turns out Spooky Dogwood is just Max C. I don't know. Lucy, care to weigh in at all?
Spooky Dogwood supremacy.
Thank you, thank you. Anyway, I regret what I've done with the funny bit of throwing magic cards around because I have to now pick them up. And also, I forgot to change it off of my stream setup, so Lucy's here. Regardless, we won, somehow. I wasn't expecting to win, considering Trey's draft is really difficult to pilot around. And I think we got lucky. Going into next week, we fight Killua, and we are encroaching on the trade deadline. And I really think we need to make some big changes to the draft if we want to make playoffs. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought, and I don't know, I've been rambling for a while. I hope you all enjoyed. Comment, rate, subscribe. Really helps that channel, and if you want to see more, you know where to look. Bye-bye!